welcome back to our very bookish channel. And in today's video, we are going to be reading one of our most anticipated reads. If you watched our monthly TBR videos, you know that we select a most anticipated release to read, and we have a really fun TBR jar that we put all of our most anticipated releases in, and we draw one every month, sometimes two, sometimes more, it just depends. But we are going to be reading one of our most anticipated releases, and I'm really excited. A Place for Vanishing by Fraistat. This was a book that was listed on my most anticipated releases a while ago. It was one of the older ones. So I've forgotten a lot about what this book is about, but I think it's about a haunted house. I was able to find a copy on Libby, so really excited to borrow that one from the Libby app and my local library, and ready to get right into it and see what happens. I'll let y'all know what I think. I'm really in the mood for a kind of
scary, mysterious, ominous book.
So hopefully this will be a fun book for me.
Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome to our TBR jar read that we were reading for May, even though I have a feeling this is going to go into June because I'm starting this at the end of May. If you guys have seen our May TBR, we had picked from our jar, and I had gotten something that was kind of excited about because it's been on my TBR for a while. I had it on a couple TBRs last year. I intended to read it before it even came out, which is kind of laughable now. I can't even remember when it was supposed to come out. Not horribly long ago. It's not a year yet. It's August of 2024. And it is Red River Road. This is an ARC version because I was supposed to read it. So I'm getting to it. It's just not before it released. But it's by Anna Downs. I have not read Anna Downs. And one of the reasons why I had really wanted to read this, on the back, and I know they have burned me in the past, but there's often blurbs from other authors and those that have had a chance to preview it. And the one on the back is by Sally Hepworth, which is one of my favorite authors. And she said, "Utterly addictive and deliciously dark. This is Downs' best book yet." And she must have several books if it's her best book yet. It says she has two others, The Safe Place and The Shadow House. So I am excited to finally get a chance to read this. I am diving into this, so I will be back with any thoughts that I have, and you guys will see me soon. So I was just starting this, and I saw a quote that I had to include in this vlog, and I am just super excited that there's a Lewis Carroll Alice quote in here. As you can see, I wonder how it relates to the book, but I am super excited, even more excited now to be reading this.
All right, y'all, got some bad news. I'm really not into this book. I've only read 5% of the ebook, okay? So maybe I'm not giving this book a fair shot, but I already want to DNF it. I mean, is that okay? Can you DNF a book at 5%? I don't know. There's just nothing gripping me in this book. I need a book from the beginning to grip me. I need something to pull my attention in. I need something to get me invested in the book. And so far, this book is just not doing it. So you're following a teenager and her little sister and her mom, and they're moving into her mom's childhood home that no one has lived in for 40 years. So the house is in very, very, very poor condition. There are bugs everywhere, even though they fumigated twice. There are rooms that you can't even go into because of the condition of the room. It's not even safe. There is just brown water pouring out of the faucets and the plumbing. So this is in bad condition, but the family needs to live here. I don't think they have any other options right now. There's been some references of like, well, this is a lot bigger than where we used to live. You guys don't have to share a room now, stuff like that. So I have a feeling they came from somewhere that was a lot smaller. Maybe they don't have the money to afford anywhere else to live, so this is where they're stuck living. And it's just, I don't know, it's just been very boring. That's all that's really gone on in the book. And I'm feeling kind of slumpy. I don't know if maybe it's my mood. And I hate to like DNF a book. I have a problem DNFing books. I hate to DNF a book if it's just my mood, because I don't feel like that's a good reflection of the book. But at the same time, I'm not having fun. So I'm just going to put the book down. If you guys have read this book and it gets better, let me know. Okay, it's also, I think it's YA, and that could also be a thing because lately it's been really hard for me to really enjoy and get invested in YA books. Before I would read YA books, like especially the dystopian books, I would eat them up and read them all day long. Like I loved Hunger Games. Divergent was good. Neil Shusterman has a series, I think it's 4 books called Unbound or Unbind, something like that. That book was like interesting, and like probably, I don't know, 10 to 8 years ago, I read all of those books and liked them. But recently, the YA books, they're just not doing it for me. So I think I'm gonna stop. But like I said, let me know. If you read the book and liked it, let me know. I might pick it back up and try to keep going. But I'm just not, it's not working for me right now. I'm not having a good time. So when I get home, I will try to grab the TBR jar and pick another book to read, and hopefully we get a good one. I just got my copy of Curse Carved in Bone, and I'm kind of hoping I draw that. But that's a long shot because there's probably 50 books in my TBR jar. So, yeah, that's another thing. Like, I have so many to read. I don't want to spend my time reading this one that I'm not enjoying when there's so many more to read. But we'll see. I'm trying to think if there's any other books that that I would really like to read. Any of like the newer ones on my TBR, if they're out already, I would like to get any of them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would like to also get maybe some of the ones that I have arcs for, so I can get the arc read and let y'all know if it's good before it comes out, and then also like update all the media sites letting you guys know. So we'll see. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Who knows what book is coming for me? I don't.
So I read a ton today. I am off and I got through half of this book. I feel like it's slower. So the pace is slow, but you're learning a lot of information. So it's not really bothering me. I think it always depends on my mood mostly for pacing in a book, but I have definitely had a few slow burns this year, and a lot of them I felt like you ended up getting a reward for being patient and staying with it. The Lisa Jewell book, Don't Let Him In, was one example because the ending of that was kind of crazy. But this one, you are seeing it from 3 different perspectives. Katie is who is looking for her sister, Phoebe. And it's a year after her sister had disappeared, and she's looking at her sister's Instagram to find out what happened to her and kind of retrace her steps. And then Beth, but she says her name is Lily, introduces herself to Katie, and she seemingly has had a rough life. But I feel like there's going to be a plot twist where there's something going on with her. And you're also seeing from Wyatt, and I don't know what to make of him as of right now. And you also have information about a serial killer that's killing along the road that Katie is looking at. And this is all in Australia, I believe near Perth, but I'm very not familiar with Australia. Right now, it's just a lot of information that you're getting told, finding out bits of Katie remembering Phoebe and them trying to find clues as to what's going on. Something kind of just happened that's kind of a clue, but she doesn't know because it's been a year and she doesn't know if what she found is what she thinks she really found. I obviously don't want to ruin it, but I think it's been at a point that the pace might be picking up. I don't know. I just needed to take a break because I have some stuff that I have to do, but I think I'm going to get back to this tonight, and I don't think it's going to take me long, which is good because I feel like we're a little behind. I will be back with more thoughts on Red River Road.
All right, y'all, I'm back home and I'm just holding my camera. I hope you don't mind. But I am going to sit down here and pick out my next read. Okay. I got the stand to stand up. Okay, so let's see what I get. Okay. This one says Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciarelli. And I've already actually read that book, so I loved that book. I thought this book was better than the first book, so I already read that one. Let's just pick another one. This one is Rabbit Hole by Kate Brody, and this was actually one that Jen picked on her most anticipated, and I think that she read it and didn't really like it or something, so I'm not going to read this because this was one that she picked and it was one I was kind of interested in, but I don't think she had a really good time with it, so I'm just going to pick another one. I don't want to pick a book that I think might be not a good one for me because I just didn't have a good experience with The Vanishing Place. So let's try again. Third time's the charm. Okay. This is A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons by Jay Penner. And I already read the first book in this series, which I did for our secret reading vlog themed cozy read. So I don't know, I don't want to jump into this one because that one was just okay for me and I wasn't planning on finishing the series, so third time was not a charm. All right, so let's pick another one in here and see what we get. Gosh, this is not turning out to be a very good video. Okay, Burn the Negative by Josh Winning. This was a pick that Jen had in one of her most anticipated, but it was also one that I was interested in, so I did put it in my TBR jar, and I will read this one if I can find it on Libby. I don't have a physical copy of the book, and I didn't have this arc, but if I can get if I can find the copy on Libby, then this is the one. All right, so Burn the Negative is on Libby. One person is borrowing it. I'm the next in line. So I put a hold on that. So maybe that will come in tonight. So I do have a hold on that one. In the meantime, I'm going to pick one more. I'm going to pick one more and see what I get. Because I'm hoping that I get one that I already own or that I have access to in my tablet as an ARC. All right. I'm nervous now. Like, these are not working out. The Maid Secret by Nita Prose. That's perfect. I have that, and that is one of my favorite series. It's sort of it's a mystery series, not really, I'd say kind of cozy. It's kind of a cozy mystery series. So I will read The Maid Secret. So this is the third book in the series, but there is a novella between the second and third book. So technically there's 4 books, but there's 3 full books and a novella. But I'm so excited. Okay, I do have this too available to read on my tablet. So I will get started reading this tonight. And then if I get the audiobook of Burn the Negative in, then maybe you guys are getting a threefer in this vlog. We'll see, but I'll get started on this one now.
I have an update, but not on the book. I wanted to talk about, I have some space here that I feel like it's almost like too, I don't know, blank. I'm not trying to make a Taylor Swift joke about blank space. Anyway, I was thinking of going to Home Goods. I haven't been there in a while, and I wanted to see what they had that I would be able to hang up some things in what I have in, I guess calling this, it's an extra bedroom, but I mostly use it for recording. We used to have a bed in here and had a second bedroom, but we really didn't need it. We have another bedroom that's our guest bedroom, but this one has a lot of basically my stuff in it. And I try not to junk it up too much because I feel like right now it's a little junky, but I wanted to see if Home Goods had anything for the walls. So I'm gonna take you guys with me and see if we can find some bookish decorations. Let's see what we can find. I purposely went late because I hate how busy it gets during the day. So right now it is 8 o'clock at night, but I am so happy that it's still light at night. I love when summer is around and it's light until like 9 o'clock at night, but I am headed into Home Goods. It was not a productive trip when it comes to bookish decor. They really didn't have anything, as you guys just saw. I only picked up a couple things. There's a greeting card because I'm going to a baby shower, and I finally saw what everyone's been talking about on TikTok. They keep talking about this Dubai chocolate bar, and now everybody has like a million different things that are Dubai chocolate inspired. So I got one of those chocolate bars just to see, because I am a pistachio fan and I would think that I would like it, but I will show you guys when I get home what that is all about, and then I'll go back to reading.
Hey y'all, this is an exciting day. I am going to the lake. Jay wanted to do some fishing, so he is already at the lake. He got up super early. Jay's doing fishing, I'm just doing some reading. And I did not want to get up early. I wanted to sleep in. So yeah, he's already there. I'm just going to meet him there. And unfortunately, my tablet is dead, so I'm not going to be able to read The Maid's Secret. Ugh, I know, this is such a random, I feel like this vlog is so chaotic and all over the place, but I did get my audiobook for Burn the Negative to come in, so I am going to be listening to that. So we will be making progress in this portion of the vlog for Burn the Negative. I just am not going to be able to read The Maid's Secret, but I did bring a physical book to read, and that is gonna be We're All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. I absolutely love Karen Slaughter. I have not read her recently, but all of her books that I have read have been so good. So I am so excited to start this new series and get the arc of that, and I will be doing an arc review for it once it gets done. So stay tuned for my arc review if you are interested in that book. But yeah, just excited to go to the lake, relax, and read. And this is probably all the reading I'll get to do today, because I have so much work to do at the house. I have so much laundry to do. I feel like maybe I shouldn't even be going to the lake, but like I couldn't pass up the opportunity. I just couldn't. It's too much of an opportunity. It's sunny. It's a little bit windy outside, so that's why I've got the hat on, but it's just sunny. It's a nice day, and I couldn't pass up this opportunity to go to the lake, relax, and read. So laundry's just gonna have to wait.
right, y'all. So I've got some bad news and some good news. So let's just start with the bad news and rip the band-aid off, okay? I'm about 19% into the audiobook of Burn the Negative, and I'm not liking it. I know, I don't want to DNF 2 books in one video, but y'all, it's not bad. I'm just not interested. I've just been cleaning my house, trying to declutter some rooms and get everything cleaned up and kind of a late spring cleaning, if you will. And it's not, I just don't care. And I don't know why. I have no explanation for it. I just don't care. I just don't want to listen to it. It's just not doing it for me. So I think I'm gonna DNF Burn the Negative by Josh Winning. Maybe I'll pick it up later because, like I said, I'm not hating it. It's not bad. It's just, maybe it's my mood. I'm just not in the mood for it. So it's not working right now. So I am gonna DNF that because I don't want to go in a reading slump. But the good news is I was able, the good news is I was returning library books because I checked out a whole bunch of library books for our secret June reading vlog where we themed it summer romance because I don't have a lot of summer romance books and I just thought I would browse the library and try to find some good ones. So I had checked out a whole bunch of summer romance books from the library. I was returning them because that vlog is over. It is posted by now. I was returning them and I found a physical copy of The Maid. So I scooped it up because that way I have no excuses for not being able to read it. I will hopefully have my tablet charged so I can read it on my tablet, or if the mood hits me, I can read the physical copy now because I found it at the library. So hopefully I'll be giving you some updates on how this book is going. I already know I'm gonna like it. I mean, it's already good, it's starting out good. I just a series of love. Molly the Maid is such a heartwarming, adorable character. I can't not like her. So I know I'm gonna like this one. We'll give you all some updates soon.
All right, so I didn't come home and film yet the chocolate because it was late at night and I really didn't want to eat that chocolate late at night. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But I read a little more. Something was bothering me about it, not in a bad way, just like it was reminding me of something with this book. And then I finally realized that if you guys watch our channel, you know that I pay a lot of attention with true crime stories. A few years back, I had followed the Gabby Petito case. It was all over the place, especially on TikTok. And she was part of that van life vlogging and the community that ended up blowing up on TikTok when she disappeared and everyone was looking for her. And then unfortunately, if you don't know about the case, she was murdered and she was murdered by her partner. Now, this started to give me a little bit of deja vu because in this, it is in Australia though, in this, it is like a van life, and you keep going to the Instagram for Phoebe, who's the one that's missing, and there's a hashtag van life and talking about women traveling alone. Now, Gabby was with her boyfriend who was the one who murdered her. So I don't know if we're gonna find out anything in that kind of way that she was with somebody and maybe that boyfriend ended up murdering her, but I think the other reason why I'm having deja vu is we recently had read a book where I kept getting reminded of a real life true crime case. Now, in that instance, it was super close to the details. This is not something that I feel it has so many details that it's almost like writing a fictionalized version of it. I'm not sure if that's going to have anything to do with it, but that was what I had thought of when I was reading. I don't have much more left, and I don't know what to think in terms of what is happening, but I feel the pace has really picked up, and it's the type that you don't want to put down because you really want to finish it. So I am definitely going to be finishing it today because I don't have much left to go. I want to say like 80 pages left, something like that. But I have a feeling I'm going to get through it pretty quick. Now, for the Dubai chocolate, if you guys Haven't been on TikTok. It's gone well beyond TikTok though, where everybody's talking about this Dubai chocolate craze. This is the one, I know on camera I had shown the little like ice cream cone bites, but this is the one. I saw the bar of chocolate, so I thought I would go ahead and get that one because that's the one everyone's talking about. And I think they were selling a kit online that you could actually make it yourself. And I never bought it. I think when it first started on TikTok, people were buying it for some crazy amount of money. This is a hunk of chocolate, but this is the kind that I saw that they were talking about. This is it's like a pistachio cream. This is good. Like dangerously good. I see why everyone's talking about it. All right, I'm gonna go back to reading. I will give you guys an update for anything crazy that happens. See you soon.
Hey y'all, it is morning time. I am waiting for the Goodwill donation center to open up because look at all these bags. I have like 5 bags in the back of my car of stuff to donate. I have been going through my house, decluttering, deep cleaning, and painting like every room. So it's been a project and it has hindered my reading of physical books. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, but I haven't been reading my physical books or my ebooks, and it's putting me behind in that. And a lot of books that I need to do for vlogs and that I want to read are on my Kobo or our physical books. So it's kind of frustrating with that, but it's nice to also get audiobooks read and catch up on like authors that I love, their backlist and things. But I do have an update, y'all, for The Maid Secret. I'm on page 51, which is the start of chapter 6, and everything that's happened so far has just been what was gone over in the description of the book. Molly is the head maid at the Grand Regency, and this hotel is hosting a TV show. So there's a TV show called Trinkets or Treasures that is coming to their hotel, and they take antiques that people bring them and they appraise them. And before they film the show, they have agreed to do some of the appraisals for the staff that work at the hotel. So Molly's really excited, and she has a little box of a bunch of trinkets that her grams gave her, and she's taking it to get appraised. Most of the trinkets in this box are worth anything, but the appraisers are like so shocked and astounded when she shows them her Fabergé egg, and it is actually ends up being worth $5 million. So Molly is so excited, like can't believe it. She passes out. She's just overwhelmed. She's been very poor her whole life. Her and her grams have always been struggling financially, and so this is just huge for her. And that's where I'm at in the book. So a fun little addition to this book is you're getting Graham's diary entries, and they are pretty much addressed to Molly. So right before Grams died, she gave Molly a little key, and Molly said, "What is this key to?" And she said, "The key to my heart." And Molly doesn't understand that, and she thinks like, well, that doesn't make sense, Grams, because you don't have keys to your hearts. Like, she takes everything very literally. She is on the spectrum and takes everything very literally. But she's like, so I don't know what that meant, but I'm keeping this key because it means a lot to me. My grams gave it to me. But I think it's the key to Graham's diary with these diaries entries that you are reading, along with the chapters of following Molly and discovering she has a $5 million Fabergé egg. And that's been fun. The diary entries have mostly just been Graham's kind of telling the story of her life. Starting out when she was a child, she actually came from a lot of wealth, and then something happens and she ends up working as a maid and not being wealthy. So I'm sure you're going to get the story as to what happened and how she became a maid and how she, you know, became pregnant with Molly's mom, and you're probably going to get more of the backstory on that. So I am actually enjoying the diary entries. I don't like jumping back and forth in timelines, but if they're disguised as diary entries or newspaper clippings or something like that, I think those are kind of fun. So I have been enjoying the diary entries and learning more about Grams and how she grew up, and what she has learned throughout her life she's taught to Molly the maid, and Molly has done pretty well for herself as an adult with autism. So very fun. I knew I was gonna like it. I'm just gonna keep reading when I have a chance. It's going slow slow. I haven't been able to read as much as I would like of physical books or ebooks because of all the work that I've been doing on my house. But I will catch back up with you all later.
Oh my God, I just got to a plot twist that was, maybe I should have seen that sooner, but wow. I did not think that was gonna happen. That's crazy. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. That is crazy. All right, I'll talk more in final thoughts. All right, I'm here for final thoughts on my TBR jar pick, Red River Road. This is the first time in a while that the TBR jar had gotten it right for me, because the last few times I had to DNF and move on to a different book, which is never fun when you have a pick that you don't feel like getting through. And this one had a slower start, so I was a little concerned because I didn't know where it was going, but it definitely picked up pace toward like midway part. I don't always mind a slow burn, and I felt like this is the first time I'm reading this author. I felt like the writing was done really well. Well, I'm obviously not going to do spoilers, but as you saw, there was something that was a plot twist that I did not see coming. And it's around, I can't remember how many pages I had left, but it's not at the very end. There was still story to go once you have this plot twist. And it didn't do multiple twists or anything like that. I can't really talk about it because it's similar to how I felt with Frida McFadden's The X, because that book, once you realize the plot twist, I vividly remember when I got to that plot twist and I felt like the room spinning, because I couldn't make the perception of what I thought of that book fit with what I just read. I was as if I read some totally different book. It makes you want to reread the book. This one, I don't know if it was as crazy as that plot twist, but it does make you rethink things that you have read in the book. At the end, there's usually acknowledgments. Since this is an arc that I had from last year, the acknowledgments aren't in here. So I did some research and looked it up just because I wanted to see if her inspiration had Gabby Petito in it. It felt like there were some similarities, not huge similarities. And she was inspired by Gabby Petito. She specifically says Gabby Petito, but she also mentioned 3 or 4 other names of women that have gone missing or have been murdered. And it was from around the world. It wasn't just like in the US or Australia. One of the big things that came out of the Gabby Petito case, there were a lot of voices that were really angry that they feel that when a white woman, particularly white blonde woman, goes missing, there's tons of news coverage. When there are so many other people that go missing, both men and there are a lot of women that have different skin color other than white, and you don't get the same coverage. And that coverage is basically what led to having Gabby not only found, but having this hot spotlight on the boyfriend and putting everything together so that he was basically found out. He was never convicted of it. So when I say he murdered her, it wasn't, I think he did confess it in the letter that was left after he committed suicide, but there's so many question marks around that case, specifically at the end, that I always wonder, are we ever going to really know the truth? One of the things that Anna Downs was trying to do with this book is, when I read her acknowledgments, and I'm glad I did find that. I wish sometimes those things were in arcs because you don't always get those in arcs. But she was talking about how there's such a stigma with women traveling alone, but we also are not safe when we travel alone. So there's that competing sense that you can't have both, kind of, because women often aren't safe on their own, but there are a lot of women that do try to travel on their own. It's hard. I mean, and a lot of this story was someone seemingly stalking this woman through her Instagram, because she was posting everything on Instagram, and as she traveled and people were following along on her journey, a part of the puzzle was her looking to see what the comments were, what the messages were, to see if that was why Phoebe had gone missing. I'm not gonna say the ending, but I not only was shocked, but once the shock dies down, I thought, okay, was that just for shock value, or was that something that I feel was realistic? And I don't feel like it was so over the top it wasn't realistic. I do feel like it was something that could happen, and she even stated cases in her acknowledgments that this has occurred. I feel like it was a very satisfying ending. This was a really good book. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. It would have been 5 stars if I think the pacing was the same throughout. I think the slower pace at the beginning, for those that don't like that or would DNF it, I think she would have more people get invested if she had that pace closer to the beginning. I had enough, and I don't mind slow burns, that I was just going along with the ride, because a lot of times that slowness is just you learning about the characters. You're learning, and I feel like sometimes it goes too fast for some thrillers, that's why it feels hollow and wooden, and you know, what is this story, because I don't even know these characters. So I think pace is definitely one of the things I pay attention to, and a lot of readers pay attention to, but the pace was a little off, which is why I didn't give it 5 stars. But I was riveted from the 50% mark on, and that twist got me. So I definitely recommend, if you like twists and the pacing's not going to bother you, I think this book would be for you too. I'm so happy with the TBR jar. I want to pick another one, but I will wait. In June, we are doing most anticipated for July and August. And then in July, we will be picking again, and hopefully it treats me as well as it did this time. I can't wait to see how Amanda thought of hers. I'll be looking forward to getting the video and watching it after she edited.
All right, y'all, I did it. I finished a book. I knew when I got this one that I would finish it, because this is the 3rd book in the series, the 4th if you count the novella, and I have loved the series. I know y'all have heard that, but it feels like this might be the last book. I see an opening the author might have left if she wants to continue the series, but I think just keeping this as a trilogy might be the intent here, because you have answered so many questions in this book about Molly, about her Graham, about the past, and I really enjoyed, and this is rare for me, I really enjoyed reading Flora's diary entries. Flora is the name of her Graham. She calls her Grahams, but her actual name is Flora. And then I really loved reading Flora's diary entries and learning about what she went through as a young kid. Really, she was 18 at the time that you're reading this, and you're learning a lot about her life. And that's usually rare, because I usually don't enjoy time jumps, going back in time. But I don't know, it worked. It really worked in this. I really do like it more when it's in the form of a diary entry or like a newspaper clipping or something like that, where you find out information about the past. But it really worked, and I enjoyed this book a lot, and I'm really glad that I drew this one. Sorry about that. I don't know if y'all care if we DNF, or if you like it when we DNF, or you don't like it when we DNF. I feel like there's not a lot to talk about necessarily when I DNF the books, because I don't read them all, but I just wasn't feeling those other books and had to move on. This was a good ending, and I am so glad that I got this book read, and I highly recommend, if you like mysteries, I recommend it. These aren't fast page turning thriller type mysteries. They're just really well written, very cute, adorable, intriguing characters that grip you, and little mysteries to solve. And I just really enjoyed my time with these books, and I think that if that's something that's interesting to you, you guys need to pick up this series and give it a try.
Thank you so much, guys, and until next time.